Sky Sports Box Office is proud to present the main event of the evening, 12 rounds of boxing for the IBF Welterweight Championship of the World. Sponsored by Alphabet, Lonsdale, and StubHub, and sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control, steward in charge, John Reese, QC, and the International Boxing Federation, supervisor in attendance, Championship Committee Chairman, Lindsay Tucker. At ringside, the three judges scoring will be, all from England, Michael Alexander, Howard Foster, and Dave Paris. And inside the ring, in charge of the action at the bell, also from England, referee Steve Gray. And now, the officials are ready. The fighters are in the ring and they are ready. Ladies and gentlemen, boxing fans, are you ready? For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing blue, red, and white, official weight 10 stones, 6 pounds, 9 ounces. As a professional, an excellent record, 22 victories, including 13 wins by knockout with only 1 defeat. He is the challenger, former British and British Empire champion, the welterweight, fighting pride of Birmingham, England, Fankie Gavin. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing red trimmed with gold, officially weighing 10 stone, 6 pounds, 4 ounces. As a professional, his record is a perfect one. 34 fights, 34 victories, including 23 wins by knockout. He's a former intercontinental and international champion and the fighting pride of the Steel City, Sheffield, England, the reigning, defending, undefeated IBF welterweight champion of the world, the special one, Kell Brook.
Okay, boys, if a call break, you must take 1 step back. Don't let any of your punches go around the back of the head. And most importantly of all, protect yourselves at all times. Touch gloves. Good luck, boys.
A little bit of history being made here. The first all-British world welterweight title fight in over 100 years. March 1914 in Sydney, when Matt Wells beat the Cornwall-based Irishman Tom McCormick.
Second round, first round.
2015, Kell Brook making the second defence of his IBF welterweight title. Brook in the red against Fankie Gavin, the southpaw challenger from Birmingham. Jim Watt is alongside me, and we're joined by Paulie Malignaggi, who's going to be chipping in with some comments as well as this one unfolds. We saw Brook come out really sharp and spiteful against Jojo Dan. And I think that's a fight that Fankie Gavin has seen as well and has realised that he needs to just try and ease his way into this fight.
Yeah, I see as Kell has switched to southpaw there for a couple of seconds. It's the speed of Brook's punching that is so difficult to deal with. Gavin, he's clever, he's cagey, he does have a really good jab of his own, but he can't match the speed of Brook.
That's the thing, he's going to have to rely on his timing. Times we saw him attempt to counter left hand on the top of the jab of Kell Brook. Timing beats speed. And Gavin was a very good amateur. He understands all about that.
An outstanding amateur. Winner of the World Amateur Championships. Britain's only such winner.
Of course, Kell Brook has very good timing of his own, guys.
Yeah. What is it about southpaws and Kell Brook? Most guys, you know, they raise their eyebrows at southpaws. Kell seems to love them, Paulie.
Well, you know, you have to fight a different angle. You have to fight at angles that you're not used to fighting, because most guys you get in the ring with in the gym and in fights are not southpaws. So they're more used to you because most guys are right-handed, but you're not used to them. So the angles change. You have to work completely differently a lot of times.
The leading feet are always a problem too. You end up tripping over each other, and southpaws want to move anti-clockwise, orthodox want to go the other way, and that's the first thing you want to do against a southpaw, is move him in the direction he's not comfortable about doing. So Brook wants to move to his own left. He's finding the range now, Brook.
See, Kell's trying to jab over the top of Frankie's right hand because the jabs are on the same side. What Frankie's attempted a couple of times is to counter that jab with the straight left of his own.
Well, it's good to see that Gavin doesn't look like he's psychologically overwhelmed here. That's what happened to Jojo Dan in the first defense. He was beaten from the first bell. Looked terrible. Just didn't put up a performance at all. Gavin looks like he means business here. Straying low, not for the first time with a body shot.
Brook's finding the range more as the round goes on. Good jab from Frankie.
Right now the hand position in Kell is allowing him to land his jabs. He's already keeping his hand higher, so when the jabs are coming from the same side, see, Kell's hand is on top of Frankie, so he's able to parry his jab down while landing his own at the same time. The hand positioning very important here in round one.
So the opening 3 minutes done and dusted. Just a little range finding exercise there for Kell Brook as he goes back to Dominic Ingle.
A lot of movements. All you've got to do is get that timing on that jab. There were times that you could have just slightly stepped across with that shot. You understand? But I'm good with your timing. Okay? Just watch him coming in with his head. Because every opportunity when you get on him, right, he's going to come down with his head in.
Well, Frankie had a go a couple of times with his own left hand. I think he found himself mostly in the opening round having to react to what Brook was doing. So it'd be nice if he can get himself to come forward. I don't know if he can manage that. But I think what we have is Brook supremely confident. Fankie Gavin maybe needing something to happen to get the confidence up. Hopefully that will happen.
Round two then of this 12-round world title fight. Kell Brook defending his IBF welterweight belt against the challenger Fankie Gavin. All sorts of mega fights on the horizon for Brook, given the division that he's in. But first he's got to get past Fankie Gavin, and he knows that. He knows he's got to stay focused one fight at a time. Easier said than done, of course. Well, this is a man who would love to get in with Mayweather.
See, that's the feet. He's just stood in Frankie's toe. That is the big problem with southpaws and orthodoxy.
But sometimes it happens on purpose, right, Jim?
Yeah, if you're good enough. Paulie, yes. I was never that good. Getting a nice little left hook there from Brook too.
Can't believe the cynicism of Paulie Malignaggi sometimes.
Every trick.
Yeah, whatever you need. Gavin continuing to try and make this difficult here for Kell Brook. Not allowing the champion to establish any kind of rhythm.
Yeah, he's trying to change range and change the distance and not allow Kell to find this proper distance. And Kell's trying to continue to jab because that's basically the best rangefinder, the easiest rangefinder is to jab. So, it's been a little tedious here so far, but both guys jockeying for position, both are good technical fighters.
But then the big swinging uppercut missing.
You gotta watch those clashes of heads. So they're getting close there, righty lefty.
See, Gavin's not a fighter who really takes chances at any level he's boxed at, really. He's very precise, very good defensively. And that's the kind of problems he's going to pose for Brook. But he's going to have to be more adventurous if he wants this title to change hands.
And that's the thing with a big puncher like Kell. You're going to take your chances sparingly, especially early on, until you start getting his timing. There's a nice jab by Gavin.
A nice sharp uppercut just before that from Kell Brook as well. Brook just trying to be the tough guy there, and Gavin not allowing himself to be bullied. That was better again from Brook, but again he's been made to miss.
Speaking of tricks, you see how Brook held Gavin's head down with his left hand and hit him with the right hand uppercut with the other hand.
Yeah, I think once he gets a couple of rounds behind him, Gavin maybe find a bit of confidence. But not a lot has happened yet to give him that.
But Brook starting to close distance. He's starting to force Frankie to fight a little bit more often than he'd like to. We'll see if it's a matter of confidence or if Frankie's just going to have to open up now.
Last few seconds then of this second round. The fight hasn't taken off yet. And Gavin will be the happier of the two that he's got through these opening 2 sessions without getting blitzed.
Southpaw by Brook again.
Yeah, well, Frankie, as we thought, he's making it awkward for Brook at times, making him miss. He's always been defensively very good, but Brook always seems to have the last word in any of the exchanges, and he is finding him with the straight right.
Another VIP bar. Get a terrific view of the action from up high. There it is. Packed out here at the O2. Round 3. You have to say that Fankie Gavin won't be too unhappy with what's happened so far, because not much has happened so far.
There's going to come a point in the fight where he's going to have to take some chances too, but for the first couple of rounds, just a matter of feeling out Brook.
Well, it'd be a big plus. I mean, keeping in mind Brook's the champion, he's the one who's supposed to impress. So if he can frustrate him, make him a little bit annoyed, make him make some mistakes. But that was nice from Brook. Nearly quick.
Yeah, Brook's starting to get the range sorted out here, and Gavin under a little bit of pressure from the first time in the fight.
That's the thing. You're here to frustrate Brook at first, but eventually, you're also here to win the championship of the world. So eventually, Frankie's just looking to get his timing. Eventually, you got to expect him to open up.
There is a danger that Brook might get frustrated, but he's proved that he's pretty disciplined in the ring these last couple of years. And a real solid look about Brook here as he's going to work a little bit now in this third round.
See what you don't want to happen, that you don't want Gavin to settle for second place and just put up a show, if you know what I mean. He's not doing enough to try to take charge. I just think Brook's on a different level to him. I just don't think he's prepared for this. I think the shots come, although he's 29, I think the chances come a little bit too early for him.
Clinical performance by Brook so far. He's starting to mix in right hands, jabs, varying, not losing his distance, maintaining his proper distance and landing more and more.
Yeah, I'm going to say, Paulie, catching him really clean and now starting to go to work on the ropes. Gavin gets off the ropes, but he did take some punishment before he got clear. And Brook starting to settle down and build up some momentum. Nice little counter left hand there from Gavin. But the traffic is mainly going the other way now in this third round.
Yeah, Brook has raised the pace now, put the pedal down.
Yeah, there's a subtle difference. When Brook lands, he looks to follow it up. When Gavin lands, it's almost like he's happy he stopped Brook from coming forward, and so he wants to reset. Gavin's got to get to that point where if he lands a shot, he's got to look to follow it up with a combination.
Yeah, I think you're right, Paul. It's a typical kind of counter-puncher mentality. Make the guy miss, get your counter, and then spoiler, get out of there.
And you know what, Jim? It works at times if you're not getting hit too much, but Brook is landing too much for Frankie to get away with that and win rounds with it.
And the real bottom line, as you said earlier, Paul, you don't come and steal a world title. You've got to come out and do something to show that you've earned it.
Exactly. Well, let's see, it's still early.
It's still early. But Brook is starting to really find his range and settle down here in this third round. Last few seconds coming up. And he's up the pace significantly as well. A couple of jogging sessions in the opening 2 rounds.
See, Gavin's good at just taking the sting out of punches. He doesn't get caught flush with hard punches. He does have good reflexes. So there's a good chance this could go on for a lot of rounds.
Dominic Ingle going to work there. Probably the best round of the fight so far for Kell Brook.
Yeah, well, I always felt this was a fight that would get tougher for Frankie the longer it went. And if this is the shape of what's to come, then it's going to be a punishing night for him, switching to the body there. See, it's nothing that Gavin has done so far in his career has prepared him for facing Kell Brook. It's just what a tough ask. Can't blame him for taking the chance. But it's a big ask for him.
Yeah, really good accuracy with that barrage there from Kell Brook.
Round 4.
Round 4. They brought in some southpaw sparring for Kell for this one. Terry Flanagan, the former British champion, reportedly did some work down at the Winco Bank gym. Fankie Gavin's sparring partners included Scotty Cardle. That was nice from Gavin. Little raiding tactics there from the southpaw.
Digging the body shot in, Brook. I think that gave Gavin something to think about there.
Oh, the body language is clear, isn't it? I mean, he's just looking to survive here now, Gavin.
Well, he's cutting the ring off. Well, very good is Kell Brook. Gavin got away there because Brook threw a hook and missed it, but Kell's putting that mental pressure as well as that physical pressure, and it's really making Gavin panic at times.
Yeah, I think this is getting less and less comfortable for Gavin the longer it goes on. Now Brook taking his time, not in a hurry. Just going about his work with method and thoroughness, and having more and more success the longer it goes on.
You know, they say the straight right hand is the answer to the southpaw. I always thought the left hook was more like it, but that straight right is working so well for Brook, just leading with it. Gavin doesn't seem to see it coming. That was better from Gavin.
Gavin would move his hands a little bit, he'd land. The problem is he's probably worried about what's coming back from Kell Brook.
And does Gavin have the power to hurt Kell Brook? Because that left hand landed pretty clean and just bounced off. Didn't bother Brook one little bit. Takes the shot very well, Brook.
Well, what I'd like to see is Gavin throw some combinations. You know, he's got the hand speed to do it, and Brook is pretty set on his feet. You know, I know he's got fast legs, but right now he's pretty planted. So if Gavin can close the distance quickly and get together a 3 or 4 punch combination, you know, maybe force Brook to go defensive a little bit. You know, change his mentality.
He's putting the spite into the punches now, Brook.
Yeah, it really is. And mixing them up. They're coming from all angles now. And Gavin looks to try and turn the tables, though.
See, I think
just gets away.
I think he's conscious of the fact that if this one goes on too long, it won't be doing his reputation an awful lot of good. If you're in control of a fight and the other guy's still in there, these are solid punches now. I think Brook wants him out of there.
Well, he's threatening to do just that because Gavin is getting bounced around this ring at the moment.
Gavin going too defensive when Brook comes at him, not even thinking about counter-punching or anything else. He just looks to cover up and make sure he can get hit clean.
Brook continuing just to cut down this ring. Gavin continuing to back up, looking for somewhere to hide.
That's 10. That's 10, Dom.
And in complete control here, Brook, as Gavin misses with the left, but does connect with that long right hand on the belt. And a big stare from Gavin at Brook at the end of that round. Not sure what that was all about.
I think he didn't want him to hit him after the bell, but it was close.
Take your time, it'll come. When you're getting on ropes, you're doing a bit too much to head. Think about the body shots as well.
Yeah, there was a kind of little rise in the intensity from Brook in that round. I think he's maybe conscious of the fact that if this drags on too many rounds, you know, he's maybe going to take some stick because, you know, he's by far better than Fankie Gavin. He's proved that already. And I don't think he wants this to be going on too long. Gavin's good at taking the sting out of some of the punches, so he's not taking the full force of a lot of the shots, although that one was solid. But Brook, I think he wants the stoppage now.
Round 5 then of this 12-rounder. Kell Brook in the red, taking control against Fankie Gavin. The longer it goes on, the more the traffic is one way. A lot of little flurries now and again from Gavin.
There's a couple of shots inside by Gavin. That's what you want to see. Just trying to move his hands when he gets in range. just at least give Brook a chance to think about what might be coming back, even if it's not hard. At least we're putting punches together, you know, it forces Brook to at least take a step back or go defensive.
I don't know about how you guys in it. Brook just looks so comfortable, so physically strong in there.
Yes.
I think the problem, I mean, tactics and fight plan, they're all wonderful if you're good enough to carry them out. I just don't think Frankie's got anything that's going to trouble Brook.
I mean, clearly, Brook is the classier of the two, but Gavin does have some speed, so you'd like to see him use it to the maximum ability that he might be able to do it. You know, he doesn't have the confidence right now. And maybe that's because of Kell Brook. Kell Brook took away that confidence, but you know, you're here for the world championship, the championship of the world. You got to, you know, put up a bit more of an effort, if you ask me.
Yeah, I think Frank, well, that's what I meant when I said I hope he doesn't settle for second place. I think he needed a good start tonight. He didn't get it. So it's just becoming more and more of a struggle the longer it goes. Oh, well done. Took a chance there.
But it's the odd little single shot that we see from Fankie Gavin, isn't it? He's not building anything. Not many combinations. Oh, Brook in no trouble. That was clever. Got his right hand through.
You can actually see him drawing Brook onto that.
You see, he's throwing punches at Kell to make him stop coming forward. He's not throwing punches at Kell to set traps. Kell is.
Oh, that was wicked. Big right hand has got Gavin in trouble. The follow-up is there as well, and Gavin looking to try and just survive here and get out of that neutral corner.
Good smother by Gavin.
So swelling in the right eye there of Gavin there. Just adding to his problems if that closes. And we're seeing a bit more spoiling from Gavin as well now. He's kind of running out of ideas. It's just becoming painful for him. I mean, to his credit, he's been boxing at range, keeping out of trouble, but he's not been grabbing hold. When he starts doing that, then he's out of ideas.
But it's too easy at the moment for Kell Brook, isn't it? As you say, you'd like to see him just step it up a little bit, go through the gears here. That was better from Gavin.
Right there was a follow-up. See right there, you know, Brook gave him a look like don't hit me in the kidney, but don't acknowledge it. Just throw another combination right at him. Again, easier said than done, but big difference here has been Brook's ability to follow up when he lands. Gavin doesn't even attempt to follow up if he lands anything.
One-way traffic here, that's how we're seeing it. Ed is with Paul Smith. How are you seeing it?
Well, Paul, do you think that Kell Brook is completely in control of this fight at the moment?
He is in control. You've got no argument to say that he's actually lost a round so far. He's in control, and the one thing what I said about this fight is Fankie Gavin's a quality top amateur who got by on his skill first and foremost, his ability, but there's awkwardness being a southpaw as well, and the Kell Brook Ingle gym, they're used to that day in, day out. Kell Brook's, if he misses with an orthodox right hand, he turns it into a southpaw jab straight away, and he manages fighters like Frankie in the gym with Frankie's style on a regular basis, so he's in control. Frankie needs to let his arms, his shots go, let his punches go a bit more, and try and back Kell up a little bit.
Thank you, Paul.
Round 6.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. Round 6 of this 12-rounder. And still we wait for Kell Brook to just open up. And we continue to wait for Fankie Gavin to try and find something that will get Brook thinking, because it's too easy for Kell in there at the moment.
You see, Kell doesn't give up his position. You see when Gavin throws a punch, Kell doesn't take too much of a step back. He doesn't overcommit on defense and make too much of a big move. You see, he doesn't lose positioning, and therefore he can follow up.
Hurt him with the right hand there, and Gavin's forced to cover up.
He's going to work early in this round, Brook. Gavin just does not have any answer to what Brook has.
It's a real bite in Brook's work when it's at his best. And I say, so many big fights on the horizon for him. You wonder if the Amir Khan fight will ever happen. He wants Mayweather. That's a long shot, but a lot of other names out there. A lot of big fights out there for him.
I think that's what Kell needs, actually. You know, a couple of big name defences. Jojo Dan and then Frankie here. They're not really enhancing his reputation a lot, but there's some massive fights in the welterweight division for him.
Well, down, of course, was the mandatory, heavily criticised, but you can't blame Kell Brook for fighting that fella and making him look very ordinary. And Gavin again starts to look like he's really feeling this. And a long way to go in this round. If Brook decides to just turn it on here, which he's doing.
He's turned to southpaw there, back again.
You see, he varies those punches very well. He's from the soft ones to the harder ones. He looks for the softer ones to open up Gavin and then throws the harder punches once he opens them up. We call those throwaway punches. They're basically used as bait to try to open up the defense a little bit, because you have a guy like Gavin right now who's so defensive. You got to open him up a little bit, you see? Some soft ones, try to open up that guard, and then mix in some hard ones.
Couple of signs there, he was beginning to break Gavin down, you know, Gavin had a look on his face as though he didn't quite know what to do about this.
I think he's finding it really tough.
Yep, painful.
Fellas, I really do.
But you know, at a certain point, you know, you gotta tell yourself you gotta go for it, you know. And again, it's easier said than done. But last night we saw Chris Algieri against Amir Khan, and Algieri just went for it. He fought outside of himself. He's usually a boxer. He took the fight to Khan as much as he could. Not to say that, you know, Gavin should go for broke like that, but at the same time, go for it. You know what I mean? You know, give it your best.
That was caught again. He landed one of his own, but then really took one back from Brook, and he's in big, big trouble. Steve Gray having a look at this. Gavin looking to try and fight his way back into this, but he's in big trouble, and the stoppage is coming. There it is.
You can see his body language just told you he was done even before that.
Absolutely sold out. It was that big right hand that hurt him. He never recovered from it. Well, ironically, it came just after Gavin had landed a punch of his own.
I think Gavin learned pretty early on here that he wasn't good enough for the job. He gave it his best shot. He did as much as he was able to do, or was allowed to do. He could have tried a little bit harder. He could have thrown more punches, but I just think the end would have came earlier. Brook, as we thought before the match was made, was just a different class. And I always felt it was a fight. The longer it went, the rougher and tougher it was going to get for Fankie Gavin. And that's how it pretty much played out.
We always have debates and discussions about stoppages. Don't think we'll have much about that one.
No, not at all. This was almost a sparring session. It looked like once Brook got him hurt, you know, even before we got to this point with these people, see the combination, the shot, the uppercut there by Brook that started it, and the follow-up right hand here. Nice combination with uppercut and then a right hand from the, you know, both hands at the same time. There's a right hand uppercut twist, and then the right hand straight. Nice combination, very creative. And that's what I mean about Brook. He's got the arsenal and he's very creative with it. And even before that had happened, the body language of Gavin was telling you that he didn't want anymore. He almost didn't want to be there even before he had been hurt like that. Comes a point in the fight where you get convinced sometimes that you just can't win the fight. And I think Brook did a good job of convincing Gavin pretty early that he wasn't good enough tonight.
Yeah, Paulie, and I think he learned that several rounds ago. He put up stubborn resistance. He made the best of the job that he could, but just not in the same league as Kell Brook. And a good stoppage by the referee. No point in this continuing. It wasn't competitive, and it was becoming more and more one-sided the longer it went. So a good referee in that situation is looking for an excuse to stop it, and Brook certainly gave him that excuse.
Yeah, I mean, he'd done the best he could there, Gavin, in the first couple of rounds to just spoil and frustrate and try and build himself into the fight, but really from round 3 onwards, once Brook started to get his measure, it was just a question of when.
Yeah, and I don't think Brook wanted this to go on any longer. I think he would be fancying he was going to get some criticism if he allowed this to go to 12 rounds, for example. So he wanted the job done, wanted it done quickly, and he got it done.
And I wonder if Amir Khan is watching that, because that's the fight we want to see. A celebration with his partner. Lindsay enjoyed that one. The rest of the team enjoyed it as well. And job done. Onwards and upwards. Big fights, big money ahead for Kell Brook.
Ladies and gentlemen, here at the London O2 Arena, the end comes at 2 minutes 51 seconds of round number 6 as referee Steve Gray has to call a halt to the contest. The winner by TKO victory, and still the undefeated IBF welterweight champion of the world, the special one, Kell Brook.
Well, I don't think Frankie Gavin should go away from here with his head hung, because